Hello, I just want to take a few minutes here to describe what you should expect to get when you take the free trial with TradingIQ. Start out with, my name is Michael. I'm going to be the one that you're going to be listening to in the room in the morning. When you give us your login ID, when you take the free trial with us, you give us your login ID. What that is if you hover over whatever your symbol is, whatever your icon is, we're logged in as CFRN right here. Whatever you are logged in as, that's what you need to send to us. When you do that, we're going to enable these indicators for you. Now, the indicators that will be enabled, they'll be inside your invite-only scripts. All right, you won't have all of these, but you will have the TIQ context PP and the ultimate slingshot. That's all I'm showing right here on the charts. Now, I'm only showing a little bit of it right now. We're going to build up to what it actually is that you're going to get access to, that you're going to be seeing. Actually, you will have access to everything, but what you'll be seeing in the room when you get in there in the morning. All right, I'm just going to start out with the NQ, and I have this on the NQ 15 range. What that means is every bar is 15 ticks high. Now, the way that the trial works, we have a lesson plan that we cover. The trial begins about 9:20 Eastern Time, 9:15 to 9:20 Eastern Time every business day, and it runs until 11:30 every business day. That's Eastern Time. The idea is to get the goal for the day in the first, by 10:15 Eastern Time to get the goal for the day. I usually get that, and I'll show you in here in the spreadsheet here. I'll show you how frequently we get the goal. I fill out that spreadsheet 3 times a day. Once when we get the goal, once when we start the lesson plan, and once when we end the session. That spreadsheet actually has our daily results. It's got over 10 years of daily results. You'll have access to that, and you'll watch us fill it out every day. But again, we have a lesson plan that begins at 10:15. Every day we have a number of items that we want to cover with you that I'm going to briefly cover in here just so you understand what you're looking at. Right here, what you see is 2 lines in here. These are part of the ribbon, all right? The ribbon actually has 4 different lines in it, but these are just the leading edge, which is called the BBC, and the trailing edge, which is called the BB3. They're the most significant lines within the ribbon. The arrows, the color of the arrow depends on which lines it hits on a pullback. If it doesn't hit any, it also depends on the slingshot. What is the slingshot doing down here? Now, this is called the ultimate slingshot. The only thing that the ultimate slingshot does is give you the arrows, all right? When you have a trend and the ultimate slingshot, if you're in a downtrend and the ultimate slingshot pulls out of the overbought, it's going to give you an arrow, some color arrow. It's either going to be blue or green or black, depending how deep it pulls back into the ribbon. All right, if it pulls back and doesn't hit the ribbon at all, like this right here, you would have a black arrow right there. If it pulls back like this one and just taps the ribbon like that, you'll have a blue arrow. If it pulls back deeper like this right here and it hits the black line inside the ribbon and you pop out of the overbought, you're going to have a green arrow, right? The highest probability arrow is the blue arrow. That's why I have it on here. Now, I'm also showing the table right here. This table is a target table, and that is built off of the blue arrows, all right? It triggers off the blue arrows. So the latest blue arrow that we had trigger, if we go all the way to the end, the latest blue arrow that we had trigger was right here. That's what gave these arrows, all right? I'm sorry, that's what gave these targets. What it does is it looks back to see what price action, where price action found areas of support. And it displays it right here for you. So you can use these as targets. Now, you can also add lines onto your chart, all right, if you want to, that correspond to those targets. What I just did is I clicked on this right here as the properties, went to inputs, show target line on chart, and you will see it will put target lines on the charts. There's one right there. There's one of the target lines right there. Now, the other ones must be further down. Somewhere they are right there. There's another one, and the other ones must be just even further on down. All right, but that's how you put those on. And they look back. If you don't happen to see a target line, all right, then you can look at other things. You can also put on pivots if you want to. You can show the swing high and low pivots, so you can get an understanding of where price is coming from and where it's going to, where it came from. You have all this information at your fingertips, all right? Now, you don't need to see all of this, and I'm just showing little bits and pieces, but when you get into the lesson plan, I'm going to go into this in much more detail, and I'll explain how the market works, when to expect to trade. The market is always doing the same thing, all right? It's always going up and down and up and down, and we're trying to catch the pullbacks and ride the swing down, all right? Catch the pullback and go down again, catch the pullback and go down again. That's what we're looking to do over and over again. Now, we have a goal that we try to achieve every day. The goal is to get to $100 per contract. And if you look in the spreadsheet, a green day means we got our goal for the day and we ended positive. We ended the morning session positive. Over here, what we have in here is the number of minutes it took me to get the goal, the number of trades it took me to get the goal, and the dollar amount that I was at when I got the goal. Now, this dollar amount is pretty big because it's $100 per contract. If you look at this month, we had a couple of days this month where we hit 3 days right in a row where we got the goal for the day exactly on the nose because I'm trading 15 contracts right now. Now, I'll explain to you more in detail about the 2420 blueprint, why I'm at 15 contracts now, but I did start out last year with one contract at the beginning of the year and worked my way up to 15 contracts now. We're in the 15th month of the 2420 blueprint. So I'll explain all that to you. You find out more about that information, more information about that as you go along into the trial. I just wanted to let you know that you're going to have a lesson plan, okay? And this is just the beginning of what you're going to see in the room, all right? I trade 4 different markets in the room, and there are more things on the chart. Like right here, you see how we have these blue arrows, but if you go back here, you'll see that we had blue arrows back here as well. The blue arrows are the highest probability trades, as I said. You get a blue arrow, you can just take the trade. If you have a blue arrow and the outer bands are flat, that's this right here. I don't have the outer bands on for you right now. I'm going to put them on in a second. But if you have a blue arrow and the outer bands are flat, then you don't want to take that trade. All right. Usually you're going to be in a no trade zone. We have another thing that shows you where you should not be trading when the outer bands get flat. I'll put that on for you in a second too. I just didn't want you to be overwhelmed by what you see when you get into the room in the morning. All right. Because it does not look exactly like this. I'll show you in a minute what it looks like. We're going to build up to what it actually looks like. All right. So this is what it looks like when you break it right down. All right. This is what you're looking for. If you learn one thing, if you learn how to do the blue arrows, one thing, you only have to learn that one thing. And if you can get $100 per contract per day, that is plenty of money for most people. If you look here, I worked my way up to 15 contracts and just quitting when I get the goal for the day. So far this year, today is March 6th. So far this year, quitting when I get the goal for the day, starting out with 13. I only had to work 18.75 hours this year, quitting when I get the goal for the day, and I'm at $88,107. All right, that's quitting when I get the goal for the day. Last year, quitting when we got the goal for the day. Trading, starting out with one contract at the beginning of the year. That is what we're saying. You can start out with one contract and work your way all the way through, add a contract per month and work your way up. We ended with $228,547, and we had to work 94.7 hours all year last year, quitting when we get the goal for the day and adding one contract per month. You have to earn $2,000 per contract to get to the next contract, all right, each month. So this month, because I'm at 15 contracts, this number right here has to be 30,000 by the end of the month. Last month, it had to be 28,000. The month before that, it had to be 26,000, right? So you got that to look forward to when we get in there. That's the plan that we're following, and we have been following that for over a year now. So I want to point this out to you. This is what it looks like with just the blue arrows on. If you learn one thing, you can learn that one thing and do exactly like I just showed you. All right. So I'll throw a couple other things on here for you. The outer bands, they give you the long-term trend to let you know when you're in a trend and when you're not in a trend. All right. And so you don't want to trade like this blue arrow right here where the outer bands are completely flat. You don't want to take those. And usually they're going to be disqualified, but every now and then you get one that sneaks in like that. But trades like this where the outer bands are spread out a little bit, or like this where the outer bands are spread out a little bit, those are the trades you want to take. Over here when you see the next blue arrows right in here, the outer bands are spread out. You want to take that right there, the outer bands are spread. Those are okay to take. We have a thing that actually identifies areas where you should not trade. It's called a no trade zone. All right. So I'll put that on for you so you can see that. Oops, sorry, that's not it. This is the no trade zone right here. All right, these horizontal aqua lines right here, they're no trade zones where the outer bands are flat and the market is choppy. Usually whenever there's a change in direction, well, definitely whenever there's a change in direction, you're going to get an outer band. You're going to get a no trade zone like that. All right, so you can expect to see that. Now, there are other things. There's other things in here we call the OBOS arrows, the overbought and oversold arrows. And what these do is they let you know that you have a trade coming up. If you have a little red arrow like that, it lets you know that you have a trend, you have a downtrend, and you're overbought. Get ready for an arrow. If you have one like this, it lets you know you're in an uptrend, Now, if you have one over here like this, it lets you know we're in an uptrend to get ready for a trade. Now in here, it didn't hit the ribbon right here. So you would not have a blue arrow, you would have a black arrow right here because it did not hit the ribbon. All right, if I turn on the black arrows, you'll see that there's a black arrow right there. When it popped out of the oversold, you have a black arrow. Now what I'm going to be doing, as the price is moving around, I'm going to be telling you, like if we go to the end right now, I would be telling you what to expect out of this. Like right here, I would say you're not going to be doing anything right here because we don't have a trend. But as this was developing, right here, I'd be saying, okay, price is pulling back up to test the ribbon. We're in the overbought. If we touch the ribbon and we don't touch the black, and we get a down close that pulls us out of the overbought, we're going to get a blue arrow. You want to go short on that blue arrow. I'm going to be telling you prices. You see, these are range bars, so every bar is exactly the same size. Every bar you see on this chart is exactly the same size. And with range bars, you can be proactive because if you know where the top is, you know where the bottom is going to be. So you know exactly where to put your order ahead of time. All right, I'll be explaining all this to you in the lesson plan as you get on in your trial. Now this is what it looks like, and then when you put the context on, it looks a little different. You throw some color in there, and it's gonna look a little bit overwhelming, but don't be afraid. Don't be intimidated by this. This is to help you identify which trades you should not take. All right, should not take. I know it's colorful and all that, but it's to help you identify which trades you should not take and when you're in a strong trend. Okay, it's all pretty simple. Now, when you jump in the room in the morning, it's gonna look like this. All right, no, it's not gonna look like this on the 30-minute, but this will be on the 7 range. And this will be on the 7 range, and this will be on the 7 range. But this is what it's gonna look like when you get in the room in the morning. Okay, it's gonna look just like this, and you'll understand. Now you have a basic understanding of what you're gonna be seeing. And I'll be rattling off numbers when the bar is going to close, where it's going to close, whether it's going to be a trade, whether it's not going to be a trade, whether I'm going to take it. And I'll be bringing my DOM over and showing you my DOM when I take trades. All right, I'll be showing you when I take trades, when I put them on, when I stop out, when I take profit. You'll be seeing all of that stuff. So that's what you'll be able to expect when you take the trial. All right, I know it's a lot of stuff. That's why the trial is 5 days. All right, but you can go back and watch this recording again if you want to. We're going to go over the lesson plan. The lesson plan covers everything that I just said over 4 different days, okay? I do the lesson plan over 4 days, and I'm going to go into much more detail covering all this stuff about an hour a day, okay? That's what you have to look forward to with the trial. Thanks for watching this video.